He pushed open the door and went home, only to see his wife and a strange man naked. The air was tense, but he just glanced at the gun on the table, then turned and walked into the bedroom. That man finally let out a breath. This man is Nick, a tough guy in the Los Angeles Police Department. But this greed almost tripped him up because all this was a trick he and his wife plotted. A few days ago, an armored truck was targeted by a group of heavily armed robbers. They used a jackhammer to break the window and quickly took control of the armored truck. The police arrived, and a fierce gunfight broke out between the two sides. The robbers were well trained, and the police couldn't hold their own. After snatching the armored truck, the robbers easily got away under the guidance of their accomplices. Nick investigated and found that the stolen armored truck was empty, which made him fall into thought. Nick found out that the robbers' whereabouts might come from a bar, where bank security often leaked information. He grabbed Little Black, a bar employee, and after some interrogation, James revealed the plan of the robber leader Merriman. They were going to rob the Federal Bank, a bank that had never been successfully robbed. Merriman's team was professional and fierce, making it hard for the police to deal with them. Merriman made careful preparations for robbing the bank. James pretended to be a delivery guy and hid things in the bank's air vent. Nick also noticed something fishy and got in touch with Little Black. Nick was misled by Merriman's wife, thinking the target was Pickery Bank. So, Merriman staged a fake robbery at Pickery Bank to draw Nick's attention. Nick rushed to Pickery Bank, and the robbers were already inside, putting on a show, pretending to take hostages and setting off explosions to confuse the police. But Nick found a hole blown open in the vault, leading underground. He realized something was wrong. Merriman's real target was the Central Bank. It turned out that Merriman used the Pickery robbery to monitor the Central Bank's escort information. They pretended to be escorts, drove a modified armored truck into the Central Bank. Marcus cut the bank's power, and James packed up the old bills that were going to be destroyed during the blackout. After the power came back, James took the money and escaped through the air vent. Merriman's gang, having grabbed the old bills, were spotted by Nick, who gave chase. On the road, a fierce gun battle broke out between the two sides, and the robbers suffered heavy casualties. Merriman was finally shot and killed by Nick. Nick checked Merriman's gun and found it had no bullets, realizing he was seeking death. However, when Nick turned around, he found James was gone. He opened the trunk of the armored truck, and it was full of shredded bill scraps. Nick finally understood. All this was a scheme set up by Little Black. Little Black, using security information, had been manipulating Merriman's gang. In the end, James hid the stolen money in the tires and shipped it away, then ran to a place where no one knew him to continue his old tricks.